All right, let's get right into it. We all have this desire to be truly great at something, right? But what if I told you that achieving that kind of excellence has almost nothing to do with what we think it does? It's not some magic gift you're born with. It's an art that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn.
So let's start with the big one. What is the actual difference between someone who's just good and someone who's truly exceptional? The person who dabbles versus the person who becomes a master. I bet a few ideas are already popping into your head.
But let's just get this out of the way right now. It's not talent. We've all seen it, right? People with all the natural ability in the world who just never quite get there. So nope, that can't be the full story.
And it's definitely not just being lucky. Sure, a lucky break might get you a single win, but that doesn't build a legacy. That's not mastery.
And you can forget about some hidden secret formula that only a select few know about. The real answer is so much more powerful, and believe it or not, it's accessible to every single one of us. It all starts with a simple change in how you think.
So, step 1. This is the bedrock, the foundation for absolutely everything else we're going to talk about. You have to respect the craft. See, a lot of people want the result, but they don't truly respect the process of getting there.
And you can see the difference clear as day. On one side, you've got the way most of us work. Multitasking, scrolling our phones, giving everything maybe half our brain power. And we get half-baked results. But the master's approach, it's a whole different universe. It's about total, undivided attention. It's about acting like what you're doing is the most important thing in the world in that moment.
So here's the key takeaway. Start acting like what you're doing genuinely matters. It doesn't matter how small the task is. It doesn't matter if you're the only person who will ever see it. That right there, that's the starting line for excellence. And this leads us perfectly into our second step. Because once you truly respect the craft, you stop looking for shortcuts. Instead, you get obsessed with mastering the basics. The absolute best in the world aren't chasing hacks, they're in love with the fundamentals. I mean, really think about it. Tiger Woods, a living legend, is still out there practicing his putting. A world-famous chef, their entire day is built on the simple act of sharpening a knife perfectly. Mastery isn't some complex, secret move. It's an unwavering, almost fanatical dedication to the simple things.
If you want a perfect story to illustrate this, let me tell you about a guy named Hokusai. He was one of the most incredible artists in Japanese history, and his life is basically a masterclass in this very idea.
Now get this. Over his lifetime, Hokusai created more than 30,000 artworks. Just let that sink in. 30,000 drawings, sketches, paintings, an absolutely mind-boggling volume of work.
But here is the wild part. Of those tens of thousands of pieces, the world really only remembers one. All that other work, all those thousands of hours, that was just practice. That was him in the gym mastering the fundamentals.
And then, at the age of 73, after a whole lifetime spent in the shadows practicing his craft, he created the Great Wave off Kanagawa. This wasn't some flash of youthful genius. This was the culmination of decades of quiet, focused, relentless work.
This right here, this is the payoff. This is what's possible when you're willing to chase perfection long before anyone is paying attention. Which brings us to our final step, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all. You have to learn to love the repetition. Not the applause, not the end result. You have to fall in love with the process of doing it over and over and over again.
So what does that really mean, to love the repetition? It means you get it right. Period. You get it right when you're exhausted. You get it right when nobody is there to cheer you on. And yeah, you get it right even when the work feels incredibly boring. That's the secret sauce. That's what turns a task into an art. Because you see, true excellence isn't a singular event. It's not a firework that explodes and then it's over. It's about being consistent. It's about being the lighthouse, getting it right time and time and time again, no matter what. So, let's bring this all home. We've got our 3 pillars: respect the craft, master the basics, and love the repetition. But the real question is, how does this all apply to you? To whatever it is you're trying to build, your own unfinished masterpiece.
So after everything we've talked about, what's the one thread that ties all of this together? What's the real underlying secret to doing anything exceptionally well?
It's this. Be the person who can just sit with the task longer than anybody else. The one who can refine it, improve it, and do it again, long after everyone else has gotten bored and moved on. That, right there, is the ultimate unfair advantage.
And hey, if you're hearing this and thinking, man, I'm just not good at my craft yet, I need you to really hear this. If you're not good yet, good. That's fantastic news. It doesn't mean you're failing, it just means you're early in the process. You're simply hokusai before the wave.
So the message couldn't be simpler. Find your craft, respect it, master its basics, love the repetition, and just keep painting your wave.
And that leaves us with one last big question. It's not about what you can do today. It's about what you're willing to commit to, day after day after day. So what's it going to be for you? What wave will you keep painting?